Hi, this is Pin Binning and I'm a driving instructor at DGN Driving School, and this is a video about all the show me tell me questions which are a part of the practical driving test. So the whole format of the practical driving test changed back towards the end of 2017, and that's when these questions were changed as well, the show me tell me questions. There were some new questions that were put in and some that were taken out. So in this video we're going to go through all of the new show me tell me questions and the answers. In total there are 14 tell me questions. You'll just get one of these at the start of your test. So as soon as you sit in the car with the examiner, he will ask you one tell me question. The show me questions, there are 7 of these, and again you will only just get one of these, just like the tell me questions. But with the show me question, the examiner will ask you this whilst you're driving out on the test. In the first part of this video, I'll go through all the tell me questions. Then in the second part, I'll go through all the show me questions. Just before I start the show me questions, I will give a bit of advice which you may find useful. And remember guys, if you do find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. You know how it works.
Question number 1. Tell me how you'd check that the brakes are working before starting a journey. The brakes should be tested as you set off. And when you do press the brake pedal, it should not feel spongy or slack. And also, when you do brake, the vehicle should not pull to one side. Question number 2. Tell me where you'd find the information for the recommended tyre pressures for this car and how tyre pressures should be checked. You will find this information in the manufacturer's guide, also known as a vehicle handbook. Only check and adjust the pressures when the tyres are cold using a reliable pressure gauge. Also, don't forget to check the spare tyre and always remember to refit the valve caps. Question number 3. Tell me how you make sure your head restraint is correctly adjusted so it provides the best protection in the event of a crash. The head restraint should be adjusted so the rigid part, that's the thick part of the head restraint, is at least as high as the eye or top of the ears and as close to the back of the head as is comfortable. Question number 4. Tell me how you check the tyres to ensure they have sufficient tread depth and that their general condition is safe to use on the road. The tread depth is measured by these lines you can see that go down the middle of the tyre, and there must be at least 1.6 millimeters of tread depth across the central 3/4 of the breadth of the tyre and around the entire outer circumference of the tyre. Also have a good look around the tyre and ensure that you can see no cuts or bulges. Question number 5. Tell me how you check that the headlights and tail lights are working. You don't need to exit the vehicle. So here we're going to show you what to do, but remember you wouldn't have to show the examiner, you just have to explain. So you would turn on the ignition and switch on the headlights and tail lights using the correct switch. And then you'd walk around the vehicle and physically check that all the lights are working. Question number 6. Tell me how you'd know if there was a problem with your anti-lock braking system. A warning light should illuminate if there is a fault with the anti-lock braking system, and this warning light is that amber one with the ABS sign. Question number 7. Tell me how you check the direction indicators are working. You don't need to exit the vehicle. Again here we're going to show you what to do, but remember on the test you just need to explain this to the examiner. You would switch on your hazard warning lights using this button here. This would put on all the indicators, and then you would walk around the vehicle and check that each indicator bulb is working correctly. Question number 8. Tell me how you'd check the brake lights are working on this car. Explain that you would switch on the ignition, press the brake pedal, and then you could either look out for reflections in windows or doors, or you could ask someone to go around the back of your car and check that the lights are working. Question number 9. Tell me how you check the power assisted steering is working before starting a journey. Explain that while the car is off, the steering will feel really stiff and heavy. Once you start the engine, you will notice that the steering is a lot easier to move. So basically, if the steering wheel still feels heavy after the engine has been started, there is a fault with the power assisted steering. Question number 10. Tell me how you switch on the rear fog light and explain when you'd use it. You don't need to exit the vehicle. You will switch on the ignition, and then in some cars you need the dipped headlights on before you can switch on the rear fog light. So you'd switch on the dipped headlights, and then you use a switch for the rear fog light. Again, this may differ in each car, and you would know the rear fog light is on as this amber sign will show up. And then explain that you would only use a rear fog light when the visibility is less than 100 meters. Question number 11. Tell me how you switch your headlight from dip to main beam and explain how you'd know the main beam is on. Again, you'd switch on your ignition and then switch on your dipped headlights. And then to switch to the main beam, you would push the stalk forward. And you would know that the main beam is on as this blue light would illuminate. Question number 12. Open the bonnet and tell me how you check that the engine has sufficient oil. Firstly, make sure you know how to open the bonnet. So in this car, there's a handle just on the right hand side here, which you pull towards you, and this opens the bonnet. Then there's normally a hatch which you slide to open the bonnet, and then make sure you secure the bonnet by using the stick on the side here. So to check the level of the oil, you would need to take out the dipstick. You will notice that the dipstick is covered in oil, so give it a clean. And then dip it back in. And then take it back out and check that the oil is in between the minimum and maximum markings. Question number 13. Open the bonnet and tell me how you check that the engine has sufficient engine coolant. This is where the engine coolant goes. It normally says on the lid, and you can check the level by making sure that the coolant is in between these markings, which are normally maximum or minimum, or full or low. Question number 14. Open the bonnet and tell me how you check that you have a safe level of hydraulic brake fluid. You can identify the brake fluid reservoir by this marking on the side here, and you would check the level by looking at the minimum and maximum markings on the side.
Now it's time for the show me questions. So the main advice that I like to give you guys for the show me questions is do not rush. Each of the show me questions begin with the phrase when it's safe to do so. Remember, you'll be answering this question on the move. I find that many people just rush into answering the question and therefore lose focus on what's happening ahead on the road and make a mistake on their general driving. So don't rush, take your time, and here are all the show me questions.
Question number 1. When it's safe to do so, can you show me how you wash and clean the rear windscreen? You would push the wiper lever forward and hold it there for a few seconds. Question number 2. When it's safe to do so, can you show me how you wash and clean the front windscreen? For the front windscreen, you would pull the wiper lever towards you and again hold it there for a few seconds. Question number 3. When it's safe to do so, can you show me how you'd switch on your dipped headlights? You will switch on your dipped headlights by twisting this switch all the way up, and you would know that your dipped headlights are on as both of these green lights will illuminate. Question number 4. When it's safe to do so, can you show me how you'd set the rear demister? To set the rear demister, you would simply just switch on this button, which has a rectangular looking sign on it. Question number 5. When it's safe to do so, can you show me how you'd operate the horn? To sound the horn, just simply push down on it. Question number 6. When it's safe to do so, can you show me how you demist the front windscreen? To demist the front windscreen, there's a couple of ways that this can be done. Some vehicles will have a quick clear button, which is this one here. So you just press this and it would demist the front windscreen. The other way that this can be done is to put the temperature up, set the flow of the air to the windows, and then put the fan speed on high. Question number 7. When it's safe to do so, can you show me how you'd open and close the side window? To open the window, just simply press this switch down, and to close it, pull it back up.
So those are all the show me, tell me questions. Really hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Thank you very much.